What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again here with another collaboration. Guys, make sure you come in, subscribe, hit the bell. And this brother, man, I've been working with him for a long time. I met him through my brother Black Men taking our community back, and he was recently just involved with the Black Manosphere meetup in down in Atlanta. But I'll let my brother explain who he is and what his YouTube channel is about. Go ahead, family.
Hey, good evening, people. I am Sub-Zero3639. I run Lift in the Veil IT Academy. Just had 2 students get jobs within the last 3 days, 4 days. And so what we're doing, we just get Black people in tech. We get them. I've had my highest earning student today just sent me a text. He's making $180,000. So he's doing real good. We run the academy. Takes about anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Right now, we're doing Oracle financials. As far as the meetup, it was a great thing, great experience. It was a blast. I met Obsidian, spoke with Minister Jap, Bernard Riley, just a lot of people. Sir Tice, Little Big Nate, a lot of cool YouTubers were there. A lot of productive conversation. We actually, me and Sir Tice I've already had a meeting with my brother about building a server for my business. So we're kind of working through the requirements gathering for that. So it was a very productive meetup. Looking forward to the future and glad to be here.
All right, give him a round of applause, Kim. And today I want to talk about something. We were on the phone. So we talked, on the phone offline. And it's always been a big point of contention here in the Black Manosphere intellectual space about mentoring young men in the Black community that come from women who don't have fathers, and the reason why it is, I think Obsidian had a video a while back. I think it's probably one of the best controversial videos produced in the Black Manosphere community, which is called "I Refuse to Be the Cleanup Man." In other words, that for many years, Black men have been taking in these guys, are coaching them in little league games and sports games, and mentoring young men that come from these homes of Black women that produce these single fathers out there. And then what happens is that while the young man is being mentored by somebody else, she's still choosing and replicating the same behaviors with other Black men that don't care about her or her family. And then depending on these group of Black men to mentor her children while she gets the best of both worlds. So it was Obsidian's point of view to say, but listen, if Black women are going to continue to do this, then we shouldn't be the ones mentoring their children. Their children should be mentored by the men that they're dealing with, instead of dealing with guys who are not, creating these children with them and spending, our time and resources mentoring her kids, when she should be doing that by choosing the right mate. It will force Black women to choose the right mate. What do you have to say about that?
Well, first of all, respect to Obsidian. Respectfully, I disagree. And the reason I disagree is because I have mentored young men. First of all, let me start with sports. I played professional basketball. I played in Brazil. I played in Puerto Rico. I played in Mexico City, Paraguay. And I'm going to say this, man. As a ball player, one of the things that I don't think you have a shortage of is older Black men that played the sport willing to teach you how to play the game.
Okay.
And you don't have a shortage of Black men. If you want to see any mentorship in the Black community, it is done in sports.
Right.
That's number one place that you'll find it. Like, the kid goes outside with a basketball and he shows that he really wants it. There's a line of Black men around the corner willing to invest in him. And you know what I always find interesting? You're not willing to invest in him contingent on his mom giving you some coochie. You don't care, right? Like, half these kids' moms, you don't want any damn way. Like, I don't care about your mom, right? Like, if I'm coaching a little league team, or I'm coaching, half these women ain't my damn type. You as hell, I don't want your ass. If you wanted to, so it's not like I want you to act right. Because me and you, even if your ass was single with no kids, I probably would have never talked to you. Right? Not to say this like I'm just all that, but I'm just saying.
Right. You keep it real.
Yeah, that's not what that's not the criteria when you teach a kid how to play a sport. The focus when you're teaching a kid how to play a sport, like be it basketball, football, or whatever, the focus is to teach them to be the best athlete they're capable of being. Now, I've been to a number of conferences. In fact, where we had the Black Manosphere meetup, I was at a conference twice in that same exact room called Traffic, Sales, and Profit with Lamar Tyler, right? Great organization, great company, great mastermind group, and it's mostly Black women. And what I found that was disheartening, and I've got videos of me at the conference live interviewing people. But what I found really sad and disheartening when I was there was that the Black women, damn near all of them, stood up, and whenever they would talk about their company, they would always talk about how they invest in little Black girls. We believe in investing in this girl, and we do this, and we teach young Black girls this, and we teach young Black girls that. So it seems to me that a lot of these Black women have a community mindset when it comes to other Black women. We don't have that, which is why we have the Black Manosphere meetup, is because we need that. Now, the brothers that came to that conference this weekend, we weren't saying, well, I don't want you to come to the conference unless your mom gave me some back in the day. We don't, that's not the criteria of investing in young Black men. In fact, if you want your events to be supported, if you want your Patreons, if you want whatever you're trying to get, that guy's probably 16, 17, and in 6, 7 years, he might be a guy that's one of your subscribers. But if you don't give a about him 6, 7 years earlier because his mama didn't give you no, then you get what I'm saying? It's almost like I just don't think that we should not invest in young Black. We should always invest in young Black men, regardless of the mom. I'm not. And another thing, as far as the whole point about, well, we're wasting our resources. Why would I ruin my life? I didn't tell you to marry the damn baby mama. I didn't tell you to date her. But when it comes to basketball, why is it that guys you can like I got out today. My son was he had a little I-9 sports game today. I got out there. I'm not gonna be in a room with kids and not get pulled into it with basketball. That's in my DNA. So he's out there, he's doing stuff wrong. So I jump up. Next thing you know, I'm telling him, 5 other kids, they coming up to me, we're talking, and I'm telling them, no, do this. Make sure you do this. That's a bad pass. Make sure that's just, you get what I'm saying? It's not that I look to the sidelines, well, damn, is the mama gonna give me some? Like, I don't care. That's not what I'm thinking about. I was just investing in the kid. That's it. It's just.
Well, let me just say this. I'm not. And to be fair to the argument, because I see both sides, and I definitely understand both sides, and I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't think that the guys who believe what I'm saying is saying, okay, well, his mama didn't give me any, so I'm not going to help him. I don't think that's what the case is. To be fair, I think what the case is, I think that's undermining a little bit to their point. I get what you're saying, but what I believe that guys are saying is this: listen, we have a systemic problem. And if there are no consequences enforced, and it's not necessarily against the young men at all, maybe directly, what they're saying is your out of wedlock rate is 79, 80%. If women feel that they can continue to have children out of wedlock and somebody is there to just mentor their children, what's the incentive for them to stop? So if you keep mentoring them, they're going to keep on that same behavior. Well, so that's what they're saying. Not the fact that, oh, well, she didn't want to sleep with me, or I didn't. So that's the reason why. But it's just that if you continue to do that, because Black men historically have been always doing that, in certain cases, then how do you stop the single motherhood led rate unless the woman say, okay, you know what, this man is I want to marry this guy. I don't have any reason to get married. I'm gonna have a baby, even if I'm not with the guy. And let's keep producing these children because somebody's going to mentor them. I think that's the point they're getting at.
Well, let me say this. I don't think a mother has a child thinking, I don't need the dad. I can just take him to the community center and let Coach so-and-so raise him. I don't think that's how, I don't think it's a lot of women.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think the woman's like, you know what, I'm going to go and get a child that's going to keep me up all hours of the night. Basically, having a kid, y'all hear my son in the back of my video. Damn near every video. It's work. It is work raising a child.
Right.
And usually when you hear someone say that, they probably don't have children. I'm just being straight up. If you have children, if you've ever been involved in raising a child, that's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. And some guy that sees your child for 3 hours a week or 4 hours a week is not enough. That's just not enough. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, I'm not, one thing I will agree, I think we do agree, and what needs to be changed is the out of wedlock births and things like that. But you deal with that from both sides, not just with the women. You deal with that with the men who, because see, I have a son, right? And so
that's a good point.
Yeah, so I have a son, right? So that was no way in hell I was gonna have a son and have him be raised by another man. See, I'm like that. You know what I'm saying? I have the values. I value being in my, that is the utmost importance, that I'm a father, that I raise him, that I teach him how to be a man from my worldview. Because every man doesn't see the world the way I see it.
Yes.
So I can't have another man raise my child. So first of all, before I even had him, I made sure I chose somebody who I could see myself being with. If she did, it's a lot of stuff she says that I don't even have to worry about. A lot of things I don't have to worry. A lot of the stuff she's vigilant on that I'm not even talking about. She's like, well, what about this? What about that? We need to make it. I'm like, okay, she's doing her job. So I chose wisely, right? But if you go, and these are things that we teach in the Black Manosphere. But what I'm saying is, you can invest and teach someone not to make those decisions. You may have made that decision or not made it. But what I'm saying is, in the Black Manosphere, you can meet people and raise them up a certain way to think, hey, maybe, you know what, son, this is why you shouldn't be out here just wild, with Brittany Renner, right? I think it's functional to bring Brittany Renner and listen to her brag about how she can any celebrity and she can get whoever she wants, right? That was just a commercial for her advertisement. I just think that was dysfunctional. I don't think you should have brought her in. It's a million.
You're talking about the Deion Sanders situation.
Yeah, Deion Sanders. You could bring in a million.
Yeah, people. I know. You talked to me about that on the phone.
You could bring in a million people to mentor Deion. Man, Deion. You could get Barack Obama if you wanted to. You Deion Sanders. You one of the greatest players of all time.
If not, probably the greatest player.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard him say. I mean, at least top 3. He up there with Joe Montana. I mean, he's up there.
Oh yeah, he's top 2 or 3 for sure.
Lawrence Taylor, Joe Montana, prime time. I mean, these.
Oh yeah.
Depending on who you ask, right? And maybe Jerry Rice. What I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is, don't deter. And this is how you can do both, right? If you feel like you don't want to do that, then fine. But let me say this. It does not take me. It won't take you or take any time out of your life. If, for example, let's say you see a little boy and he keeps coming around and you got a business or you doing something and this little asking questions, it only stands to reason that you should answer his questions. If that little boy comes to you and wants to know about business or anything, right? I would be remiss to say, I'm not going to teach him. Damn his mom. I'm going to teach and I'm going to bring as much as I can to the equation. But what I'm not going to do, and this is where we can kind of agree, is I'm not going to deter or change the trajectory of my life based on that situation. So if you got a business or you going in a certain direction, I didn't say go change the whole entire trajectory of your life because now you would be sacrificing.
Okay.
It's a commendable thing. Some people might want to do that. But me, I got business, I got things I'm trying to do. I don't even want to coach basketball because I know I got a lot of other things I'm trying to do. But if I wanted to, that would be what I wanted to do. But a lot of Black men choose to invest their whole lives into being coaches. In fact, most Black athletes, when they go to college, sports medicine, sports management, coaching. These are usually when you see some guy running behind a ball, that's his major at most universities. And most of the time, these guys don't wind up being agents, don't wind up being, physical therapists. They wind up in some, they don't do what they went to school for, So, a lot of guys do wind up coaching, but, it's like that's the only thing we can do as Black men is coach sports, do something involved with a damn pigskin or basketball. And I think that's dysfunctional. I think that we need more mentorship along the lines of business, doctors. There's a program that was at the Traffic Sales and Profit Conference. This Black guy was a doctor, and he came back and he mentors young Black boys. You have my business. You have not just me, but you have other people that have businesses and organizations within the Black manosphere that are coming back and giving back. But guess what? I give back all the time, but it's not like subtracting from my life. In fact, it enriches my life. I could read you a text message from one of the guys. The guy called me today. I'm not going to read it, but this guy made a point, and he was just like in the text message, brother, I want to thank you. You changed my life, man. So man, I met you. You have been instrumental in my life, man. This has changed my life. This has put me in a different place. Man, I would have never been a man. I'm making $180,000. Man, I'll be able to do all types. I mean, he sent me this big long text messages thanking me. I'm like, bro, your hard work, your dedication, you did it, because it wasn't just the skill I gave him, but he said that my skill was instrumental in him getting the job. But he was just like, man, you helped me. You put me in a position to win, brother. I want to thank you. I got a million text messages like that from all my students. That's the thing. I'm not saying that I'm the man. I'm not saying that you should only listen to Sub-Zero or Obsidian. What I'm saying is, look, man, if you can help another young Black man who was once in your position, because guess what? Some of our fathers aren't just deadbeats. Some of our fathers are dead. You got children out here whose fathers have died. Their fathers, for some strange reason or another, lives in another state. But he loves his son, but he lives in another state. Well, what do you do in that situation? Well, she chose. Well, the guy's not a deadbeat. He just, whatever.
Yeah, I think in that case it's understandable. I think what he's talking about is, or just in guys in general, children of those women who've never had any intention on being married, and that situation, not like widows. But I get what you're saying. Let me kind of ask this, because one thing I like about you, and even me, and people accuse me of this, there is some you have a lot of praise for our Black elite, our African American elite class, and their accomplishments due to their own efforts and hard work. Now, I want to use an organization that we all know in the Black elite, which is called Jack and Jill. Great organization. If you want to be in Jack and Jill, the ball that happens, or just that community, nobody can apply. Jack and Jill, from what I understand, they come out and they send you an application. And one of the criticisms that Jack and Jill has received is they don't accept single moms, no matter how successful you are. That's what the Black elite does. That just because you're a first generation doctor, first generation engineer, it doesn't mean you qualify for the Black elite. So I want to use that argument for professional Blacks, and it's typically always been like that for our elite class in the African American community. Listen, either you make the cut or you don't. We deal with the people that are already here, and I think that's kind of what maybe some of the other guys that kind of agree with Obsidian's argument was like, okay, listen, these people, and I know that we could be missing out on certain elements of talent, are folks who we could be redeveloping, but it's a better chance that if we're dealing with people in our own social class, we're going to make far more advancements, far more success than if we are even giving any of our time to those who are in the other class, when that time can be spent developing the middle class or the upper middle class Blacks or the upper and the elite class. And then that way you're going to get more accomplished with your time, because, hey, here, and that's how the Black elite has historically always been successable. You typically don't see the Black elite going like, let's go to south side of Chicago and let's invest in these kids over there. They don't do that. They deal with the Bob Johnson of the world and people like that. They deal with their people. They may give some money here and there, but we all know what their time is spent. It's with the Black Minister meetup. I think it was a great representation of middle class and up guys from guys who are very successful. What do you think about that argument?
I have no problem with it. I think you can do both. I think you can. Okay. I think there's nothing wrong with having the Black Manosphere meetup where Black men invest in Black men. And then I think also as individuals, if I have an opportunity to invest in a young Black boy, I will. Because I see that young Black boy as a patriot. I don't even have a Patreon, but you get what I'm saying? I would see that young Black boy in a few years. You have to have a long-term, community-minded mentality. But at the same time, I was thinking about we actually talked about getting our son involved in that Jack and Jill stuff. It's funny you say that. And I think it's good because, unfortunately, whether we want to admit it or not, demographically, historically, if you look at the destruction of the family. I can go real deep in that. I go deep in that on my channel.
Okay.
When you look at the destruction of the family and the individuals that orchestrated it through something called the Frankfurt School, and a lot of them chose to go and create something called critical theory, which is basically to destroy anything or discredit anything that is traditional, and it must be torn down and quote unquote replaced. And then you look at the social engineering that's taking place today, it's by design. That being said, if you look at the Black community, it is their petri dish. When I say there, I'm talking about, right? And when you look at their petri dish, which is the Black community, you will see certain fruit, certain, dare you say moles, if you will, of fungi that are taking root in our community, namely crime in those areas. I don't want my son in a neighbor. I live in Atlanta. I don't want my son around certain neighborhoods. All I got to do is cut the news on. I don't want my son dating certain girls, right?
Right.
I don't want my son with certain friends. I had him around a kid. The kid was bad. This little boy had major issues. He was only 5, but I could see it. And so I said, you know what? This little boy was trying to hurt my son. Like, he literally would stare at him and frown. Because he's 5, he didn't know it, but he would just stare at him and frown. And my lady was like, well, you know, you gotta understand, he's here, you here, his dad is here. You grabbing him on him, hugging on him, kissing him on the top of his forehead. You buying him whatever he asked for. You encouraging him. This little boy don't have that. So he's probably resentful. So so you can't, if you really have 2 brain cells to rub together as a Black person, you should know going into the Black community that these are the things you're gonna face. So I'm not gonna sacrifice my child for nobody. So people are like, well, aren't you contradictory? No, aren't you contradicting yourself? No, because I still invest. Obviously, I have lifted the veil. I still invest in my community, but not sacrificing my life. We can do both. It doesn't have to be this binary way of thinking where it's either we either do this or we don't. Now, I see why Jack and Jill didn't invest as far as doesn't go back into the community, but I will say there is some truth to them becoming somewhat like in the movie Black Panther, how, Killmonger came in there like, man, y'all comfortable. Man, y'all living good up in here. He's just saying, look, it's people out here hurting. These are your people. Now, do you believe they're your people? Because I'm sorry, I don't believe that. You can go date your white girl. You can go move out into the suburbs. Every time they see you, they think of what they see on the news, which is Black people. Right? They're going to see, I don't care what Brandon Tatum says, whenever you go outside of your community, whenever they see you, until you open your mouth, until they know, oh, you're a Trump supporter or you're whatever, you're a Black man. Right? And I don't care who you are, that's going to bring certain stigmas, because of the crime rates. I mean, these are facts, I'm sorry. It's because of crime, because of certain things. You carry that wherever you go in the world. Whenever anybody gets upset with an African-American, the first thing they talk about is how the African-American community is in America. I'm talking about, I've seen this in Brazil, I saw this in Africa, and I saw it in the Dominican Republic. And I've been to many more countries, but these specifically, 3 countries I saw it specifically where people would have words, and those are the things they would talk about. The dysfunction of our communities. So we have a messed up community. And I don't think it has to stay that way though. I think you go back 100 years, the community was like that. The Irish community was like that. The South, if you go back to the 1800s and look at the South, a guy by the name of Alexis de Tocqueville came over from London and toured the South and he wrote about how backwards and low IQ and high crime, they wouldn't take care of their fields. He said you can pull up in front of their house and you could tell just by them having chickens and stuff running around that they didn't keep, they were lazy. Things that you would say about the African-American community today. If you go to a Black neighborhood, they park on the grass, they put barbecue grills on the front, they blast music, they outside smoking weed, they standing around mean mugging you when you ride down the street, right? These are just things that are correlated, which gives me hope, because if the South can rise from what it was, then so can the Black community. Some people are giving up. I understand why, and I say that on my channel too. But at the same time, there's a remnant. If I had the energy or attitude of community, I wouldn't have made a difference for that brother that sent me that text message today.
Right.
I would not have made the difference. I've gotten over $3 million worth of annual income for students. Actually, probably more than that now, because I chose to give back. I've made the difference. I know brothers that was sitting on their mama's couch depressed. So, man, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, man. Thank you. It matters to that person.
Right.
And it should matter to us, because look, when I was trying to get into IT, I wish I had somebody like me. That's why I try to, I heard Jeff Bezos say, whenever you design a business, you always want to design the business from the customer's experience. What is it like for the customer? What is it like for those brothers out there that are struggling with traffic tickets up to $15,000 like I had? What is it like for those brothers with their car broke, with the windows cracked in the dead of winter, and you got to ride with the heat blasting because you can't let your windows up because it's broke, right? And you got to go get that figured out. Or you got a piece of paper or newspaper sitting there to keep them up. That type of stuff. What is it like for that brother? And I can relate. Your sunroof broken is whenever it rains in your car, right? And you got to have a towel in there just in case it rains. These are the types of situations I've been in. And so I know what it's like. And those people need help. There's a lot of people in that situation that are praying, Lord, please send me someone, send me a sign or a way where I can get out. So I started Lifting the Veil Academy on a whim for $400. I would teach for 4 months straight for $400 measly. I'm talking about 4 or 5 days a week. I would be on the internet preaching, trying to teach people IT. They called me and listening to their interviews. I give you way more. I was giving them way more than what they gave me. But it was from a place in my heart, because I have a ministry background, of just servitude. It's a Bible verse I learned a long time ago. It says, now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you should now wash one another's. What he's saying is, be a servant, right? So I try to have a servant's mentality. I ain't sacrificing my life. I'm not sacrificing anything. It hasn't cost me. In fact, it's only enriched my life. When you give back, they say it's better to give than receive. When you give someone something and it really makes a difference, and you got their family members. I done had mothers call me, like, I don't know what you did, crying, like, thank you, God sent you, you helped me. Man, that changed my whole worldview. Like, man, I'm doing the right thing. Now, if I'd have said, you know what, I should punish his mom, who am I? That's the thing. It's almost like you sit in this seat of self-righteousness. Like, who am I? Who are you to try to play the punisher? Like, I'm going to punish the mom for having a child out of wedlock, so I'm not going to help this black boy over here. It's almost like you're sitting in this seat of righteousness, like you're so above everybody, like you play this judge, as if you've never had unprotected sex, as if you could have been a single dad. Well, depending on what type of values you have, and that's what I was saying earlier, a lot of brothers have children and don't give a damn. They'll send $300 a month, and they're gone and they're good. Right? And if they didn't have to sit in that, they wouldn't. And so I'm all for, black men investing in black men. But I'm also for black men not sacrificing their lives to do so. I think there's a lot in between that full and empty in that gas tank. You can do a lot. You get what I'm saying? Like what you do. Say you've done a lot. You know how many people you helped me, brother. Say you didn't help me. Like if it wasn't for you coming up here helping me, doing these interviews and doing these things, it made all the difference when I first started my class. It's like, brother, you got a class? I remember you called me and said, man, why you ain't let me know? Come on, man, let's go up and do an interview. I said, okay, cool. Man, you helped me grow like my second class. I remember I had some people sign up. I didn't know, but I did an interview, and next thing you know, people started calling. Some of those people are working today because they watch your content. Does it cost O'Shea though? Did it hurt you? Did it harm you? You can give back. You don't have to either say, you know what, I'm not helping nobody. Because even some of these brothers that are saying that, you're still helping brothers if it's just teaching them how to stay away from a trifling ass baby mama. That is giving back. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have that. A lot of us as black men, we don't have that in our community. We don't have anything. Like black women, a good example, go to the Black Enterprise website. I usually go to their Power Entrepreneur Summit, right? And if you go to the Entrepreneur Summit, what you'll see and what you'll find is they have like 3 or 4 conferences. One of the conferences they have is the Black Women's Conference. They usually do it in Arizona, right? I was gonna send my lady, and then I saw it was like $3,000, right? Which price reflects demand, right? When you go, like, and even when you go to the Power Summit, the Entrepreneur Summit, I went to the last one in Charlotte in 2019. It was nothing but Black women. It was like 80% Black women, right? Which was disheartening because I want to see us brothers growing our business and doing our thing, right? The Black men, they have a golf tournament they do down in Miami every year. It's about $300 for that because it's smaller seating. Because I've done it before. Smaller seating is cheaper, which indicates demand. Right now, am I saying that there aren't a bunch of brothers out here that's on top of it and doing? Of course there are. Now we all know about it, right? But what I'm saying is, for Black women, they have a stronger base of Black women. When they get in positions, they have a mentality of giving back, reaching back, helping that next young, like Issa Rae. She's very much like that.
Oh yeah.
She especially African, right? What's her name? It's a lot of, whenever Black women get in a position. Like it was a woman that worked at BET. She wanted to do the Black Girls Rock thing. They did it. Now, are there brothers? Well, I ain't gonna get into why they haven't had one like that for Black men, because the guy that runs it is on something else. But but that's another video. But the point I'm trying to make is we need to start having our own events like that. I want to see Black men have their own events. I want to see, instead of BET Her, which is BET's version. Now I know BET ain't for Black people. Period. But what I'm saying is, I want to see stuff. We just talked about that a few minutes ago. I was just talking about how we need to have our own streaming service where we can put up our own content, positive Black content for Black people, Black men to be uplifted. We can interview successful Black business owners. We can interview people that are building businesses, that are in struggling business. Not everybody is at the top. So we want to interview people. You can have all these different shows. Restaurant shows, how to black tech people. That could be a show. It's whatever you can do so much, right?
Right.
We talked about it, but the thing is, it starts with you got to first have a mentality of giving back. Because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't give a damn about a need for the community. And neither would anybody. We wouldn't have had a Black Man and Spirit meetup unless you have a community mindset. Community, if you look at the definition of the word, is like a like group of individuals that have like commonalities and things that they have in common. The Black Manosphere is a community. And so you are community minded for the Black male. And that means that doesn't start at 18. For me, it doesn't. That's all. Like it can start at 10. It can start at 5. Just depends on the individual, right? If you have, I'm willing to bet most of these brothers that say this, if we just followed them and they had a little kid asking them, hey, I like what you do. Can you show me? Like my son comes up to me, the greatest feelings I ever had in my life is every time my son comes up to me and says, Daddy, I want to be just like you. It changes you. It rewires your synapses in your brain. It just changes the way you look at life. It changes it. Now you start saying, oh man, I got to be the best I can be for him. I can't risk losing. So I'm gonna go ahead and set some money aside, and I'm just gonna draw interest. And when he turns X, I'm gonna have this. He's gonna have this. When I die, I'm gonna have this much life insurance. I gotta make sure he wins. I can't let him down. That's the energy.
Okay.
Now, of course, you're not gonna do that with some guy off the street, but you will have us say, let me go. With people off the street, what I do is I give them my time. I answer phone calls. I talk to people all day. I help people with their resumes. I give them references. I do whatever we got to do to get you to the finish line. But it still doesn't cost me. Go ahead, brother. I've been talking for a minute.
No. I do your thing, man. So let me kind of do this as we close out, brother. I thank you for coming, and it's always good to get these discussions. Go tell people, man, why should they subscribe to the Sub-Zero 3639 YouTube channel?
Well, I'm gonna put it like this. I just got off a strike last week, so let me just say, if you want an honest opinion about the issues going on in the Black community, and I'm not in one corner or the other, I'm not in this, okay, Black men do no wrong corner, or Black women are God. No, I'm not one of those. If you want somebody just straight, fair and balanced, down the middle, that, you know, of course it may ruffle. I ruffle black women's feathers, and I ruffle black men's feathers. And not that a lot of times when you say that, people say, well, some people go out their way to be balanced despite the truth. If somebody is 85% at fault, you so focused on trying to be 50-50 when it should be 85-15. No, if it's 85-15, I'm gonna say it's 85-15. I try to be. Not everybody agrees with me, right? But we have a family over there. Love going on my channel with my subscribers. A lot of my students have went on to be business owners. This today is the highest earning student ever. I mean, $180,000. That's the most.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's $60,000 every 4 months. That's pretty good. You know,
pretty good.
That's
$15,000 money.
$15K a month. That's pretty damn good.
That's very good.
So, and that's what I'm saying. This is one of the students who got his start. Man, you helped me. You changed my life. And I'm easy to get along with, man. If you email me or call me, I'm personable, easy to talk to. People that met me this weekend, I don't think anybody thought. I tried my best to be as down to earth, and just like I am, what you see on this internet is what you'll see if you walk up to me.
Okay.
So that's that, man. You know.
All right, and I definitely think the brother dropped some gems tonight. Make sure that you guys subscribe, hit the bell. As we're talking right now, I have literally a premiere going, but we'll have this one up, and I definitely thank the brother for coming on. Subscribe to Sub-Zero369. The link is there at the pinned at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.